Yeah, it was kind of that slow end, slip in the arm, right around the waist. Come over here. I know I got what you need.
Wow.
But you say he's just a friend.
Art of Seduction by Alex A. on Comic Indie Podcast. We do it all, just to let you know.
Comic Indie Podcast theme song.
It's a podcast for comic books. What else would you expect? Welcome to Comic Indie Podcast. My name is Kenneth J.
And I'm Alex A.
And today we'll be breaking down the book Black Cloud, published by Image, written by Jason Latour and Ivan Brandon. But before we get into the rundown of Black Cloud, special thanks to the guys at NAN'S Games and Comics, located on Shepherd and 59 in Houston, Texas, for allowing us to do this great thing we call a Comic Indie Podcast live in their store. If you like games, you like comics, you like guys named Brian with a Y, and a guy named Jose sitting behind him, come down to NAN'S Games and Comics, located on Shepherd and 59.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into Black Cloud. And we open up on a female character. Now, Alex, would you say she's a hero?
Well, it's kind of one of these issues, that's issue one, that likes to raise a lot of questions. So we really don't know who she is. The book doesn't even give us the name, so we probably will find that out in issue 2.
So exactly right. A lot of questions to give answers to. But what we do know is she's homeless. But how homeless is she? Because she's also a drug dealer. Right? So if I'm a drug dealer, I'm thinking that, I'm living large. I'm driving around in my Escalade. My rims on my car are fairly large. Yet as a drug dealer, she's sleeping on park benches. What's up with that, Alex?
Well, I see, that's the thing. We don't know if this is a front that she's trying to play, but it kind of seems like there's some kind of money involved into getting this weird realm that these guys keep referring to.
So when we're talking about that weird realm, our hero of Black Cloud, or questionable hero that is a homeless drug pusher, pushes drugs to the rich kids in the city. And she doesn't give them heroin, doesn't give them crank, doesn't give them coke. She gives them this kind of pill that takes them on a trip. Is it literal or figural? How do I use that one, Alex?
Well, I see, my initial reaction to that was I think it's more of a front.
Okay.
She's giving these guys a pill, but in the background, she's actually taking them to this one portal.
Speaking of trips, she takes one of her customers named Todd. Looks like a nice, upstanding, rich kid, and well, apparently he's not too upstanding if he's buying drugs from a drug dealer. But he takes him on a trip, and as she gives him that pill, they're transported into a different world. But there's something weird about this world, because this world is in black and white. This world looks like it's from an era from the 20s or 30s. I'm thinking Al Capone is going to walk it right outside of the speakeasy and, shoot somebody up with a Tommy gun. But also, this world has animals in suits and dresses drinking martinis.
Right, yeah, and it seems like they're animal hybrid with human, that is. We really don't know much about this world. I guess they do a good job about raising all these questions, because she mentions this one phrase: waking up in someone else's world is harder than you think. So it kind of seems like she's jumping into this guy's mind, or his imagination, or dream world, if you will. But it seems kind of weird because these characters already know who she is.
Right? So if I follow you correctly, you're saying that this black and white 20s, 30s era speakeasy time filled with animals in suits drinking martinis is actually Todd's dream, and she helped him get there?
Right, yeah, and I have no idea how it's all connected, but
somehow we get there. Somehow she's
able to transport them there.
Apparently this trip is just momentary, right? You're right. You got to pay to play. So he paid, they played, but not for a long time, because Todd is taken out of that trip, and oh man, is Todd hooked. He wants more. He's blowing up her cell phone like nobody's business, saying, take me there again. But later do we find out in the book, Todd's father is the mayor of this city, and Todd's father actually hires our homeless drug dealing, transporter now, to take Todd on a permanent trip into this questionable dream world of animals drinking martinis. Right. However, this trip is a trip for good, a one-way trip, and that's kind of where we end our book. What are your thoughts on that,
Well,
Alex?
I don't know. See, it's kind of seemed that way to me too, but whenever I looked into a little bit more, I kind of got the feeling that he's also been in this world, and he's also addicted to it somehow, and they're both somehow connected.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a couple things. Homeless or drug dealer? Which one is she?
We don't know.
I mean, obviously she's both, but do you think she's human?
My initial reaction is she may have some special ability. I don't know. I don't think she is.
Okay. Hey, who knows? All I know is I can't go around into these black and white worlds. I can't touch monsters on the head. Technically, they're not monsters because it's their world and she's invading theirs, so maybe she's a monster. Well, basically, I can't do some Mr. Miyagi touch on the forehead and then all of a sudden heal them in such a way that would turn them into a loyal zombie that would help protect her. And so forth. So, yeah, I think I agree with you, Alex. Definitely not a human. Let's kind of break those two worlds down a little bit. So, obviously, you have more of Earth feel here. You know, you got a city, you got a metropolis, you got homeless people sleeping on benches, you have a government with mayors in it, so I'm assuming this is Earth, right? And then you have the black and white world of the 20s and 30s. Basically, it looks like just everybody drinks in there. Is that right? Is that all we're seeing?
Well, the world that they start to kind of delve into is all set in black and white, which is something I find interesting, because at first I thought, you know, this is just the artist's view of how he wants to portray the vintage era of the 20s and 30s.
Right.
However, we start to see that color actually plays an important factor, because it looks like in one of the scenes she accidentally or purposefully drops champagne over the maitre d's head.
Right. Oh, that's that green lizard-looking dude who's all uptight and
right,
looks
yeah.
like he's upset about something, right?
And then color starts to fall off, and you can see the black and white behind it all.
So if I hear you right, Alex, you're saying definitely if you're of color in this world, you have some power or significance, right?
I didn't say that, but there is some relevance there.
Okay. But that is true. When she does take Todd over into this world, Todd, in fact, he is still in black and white. She scribbles something on some paper that looks like color, and then all of a sudden her hand slowly creeps up and turns like she is in color. And then, but the only other person that's in color is that lizard maitre d' guy. But the lizard maitre d' guy is not really feeling her and is kind of upset that she's there. So it kind of gets me to think that, you know, if you're in color, you are on a different level in this world. And maybe if you're at this different level, you have a certain responsibility to uphold and feel. And seeing that she's bringing outsiders in, maybe that's what they're kind of upset at her about. But again, they're kind of staying away from her, and she has that ability, again, to take that color away, hence, again, literally having the juice to pour on this lizard's head and turn him into a gray monster.
Yeah, and the feeling that I get is she's more like a Neo within a Matrix type of world where she possesses a certain type of power.
Right.
However, I will have to say that we don't know very much about why she's there, but we do know that they don't want her there.
Right.
So there's got to be some history there.
Right. She's disrupting the balance. That's what's happening. All right, so let's talk about Father of the Year, the mayor hiring a drug dealer to make his son go on a permanent trip, or basically just kind of 86 him from this earth. What are your thoughts on the mayor?
It's very interesting to hear how he talks about his son in a way to where there's some sort of connection here, but we just don't know what it is. So I'm kind of interested in seeing where this goes in issue 2.
Right. So I mean, you know, but yeah, definitely the dad is kind of a jerk. You know, I'll even go as far as saying kind of a dick, a little bit. You know, you don't make your kid disappear. But hey, he did it, right? So.
Yeah, and I don't know if that is his intention or he just wants to connect with his son at some level that we don't know just yet. So there definitely is that factor. I'm kind of interested in seeing where this all goes.
And one thing that we didn't talk about earlier, Alex, is what do you think the theme of water is there? Or tell us about that. What's going on with the water?
Yeah, that's one of the things I had to recognize, is that every time that she seems to drag people into this other realm, there's water involved. So we don't know why, but we just see that there's a connection there.
Yeah, so when she transports Todd to that first initial one, she kind of pops a pill in his mouth, but then gives him like a nice little bear hug, and they do that little fun, playful jump into the pool, right? You're at a party, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody's standing by the pool, fully dressed, and she's all like, come on, let's go in the pool. But, you know, Todd is kind of hesitant at first, but then he wakes up.
It seemed like it was more of a seduction to me.
You think she was kind of giving Todd that eye?
Right,
look?
yeah. It was kind of that slow end, slip in the arm, right around the waist. Come over here. I know I got what you need.
Wow.
But you say he's just a friend.
Art of Seduction by Alex A. on Comic Indie Podcast. We do it all, just to let you know. But no, definitely a big water theme going over there. Again, that pill, I think it's more of a prop. You know, granted, I know she kind of gives him the pill, but it is that water that transports them to that new world. All right, rating times, Alex. Let's give it a number. Let's give it a number. We'll take it back to school. Art-wise, Alex, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to have to say that I did skim through the book, and for an issue 1, I wasn't really impressed. Usually artists take a lot more time for issue 1s, so I did appreciate the grungy style and the different take that the artist had, so there's definitely a lot going on there. Overall, I'm going to have to say it's a 6 for me.
It's a 6. Okay. That's a 6. So I think our artist on the book, Mr. Greg Hinkle, you got a 6. Not a terrible score, but not a terribly great score either. I'm going to go ahead and give him a 7. Story-wise, Alex, where are we at?
Well, quick rundown of all the hooks and the story. I'm definitely going to have to say that this is one of those stories that you don't really read too often. It's got its own twist, its own take of its realm. So I am really interested in seeing what issue 2 has to offer.
All right, so
I'm gonna have to go for an 8 on that.
An 8. Okay, I'll do you one better. I'll give you a 9. And originality. How original was this piece?
I will have to say I was pretty impressed with the originality. Not much stories that I can pick up that have this twist on storytelling. There's a new take on the explanation of how they have delved into this world, and there's not much I know about the powers, but I know it's a different take on powers, and it's got a play on colors there. So I'm really digging that. I'm gonna have to go with a 9 on that.
9. You know what? I think I'll go with a 9 too. I don't know how many homeless drug dealers are out there in this world, and I don't know how many can put me in a pill and drop me in a pool and take me to a different world. So definitely, you get some style and originality points on that one. Black Cloud. So again, overall, if we're going to add these numbers in our calculator over here, looks like I gave it an average of 8.3. Alex, you gave it an average of 7.6 with a grand total of 7.95. So kind of like on a 1 to 100 scale. What is that? Is that a D? Right?
That's more of a C.
That's more of a
pretty
C.
good C.
You know what? Well, Black Cloud, like I said in college, C's get degrees. So well done to you, Black Cloud. You are in the 7 region, certified by Comic Indie.
So that actually means that it is a passable score for us. This rates us at a silver category. So congrats on that.
Well done, well done. Okay, definitely we want to give a great shout out and thanks again to Brian and Jose at NAN'S Games and Comics. Brian, you want to say anything about the book or NAN'S?
I enjoyed it. I like the art. Again, I kind of agree with you. It's not the best, but again, first issue, you expect more. I like the story. I was intrigued by what's going to be happening. Don't lay it all out the first time. That's good.
That's it. You keep them wanting more. Is that right?
Exactly. Image is doing some good stuff these days.
Okay, absolutely. So, Brian, are you going to pick up issue number 2?
Absolutely.
All right, Alex?
I'm going to go ahead and go for it.
And this will be a 3rd copy from me. So, for Comic Indie, my name is Kenneth J.
And I'm Alex A.
And you've been listening to Comic Indie Podcast. Thank you.
Comic Indie Podcast theme song.
It's a podcast.